as every prospective owner that I mention it to and I explain that we require this, and we're, one of the few companies in town that really enforce renters insurance, because it is a very difficult thing in the industry to enforce if don't have things in place to do so. And every owner loves the package, and because they're always worried about their HVAC too, if the filters aren't changed. And so when you explain all of the things that are set up to help protect them as an owner, they love it. And so they're excited that there is a company that offers these items and that they don't have to pay for it either, that it's really protecting them.
Let me be the first person to say welcome to today's Resident Benefits Package Workshop. My name is Tyler Nichols with Second Nature. I'm going to be your host for the next few minutes. And I've got to be honest, I've got to tell you, very excited about our lineup today. We've got a packed agenda for the next hour or so. And, our goal here is to make sure that you're getting the best value out of the next few minutes. Obviously, everybody's in a lot of different situations, but our main goals here today are to tell you a little bit more about the resident benefits package in terms of what's in it, why is that in there, and then we've also got an incredible panel of 3 property managers that are around the country, all in different areas, all in different size door counts, and all 3 of these people have successfully rolled out a resident benefits package in their area. And so we're going to walk through their whole experience with the package and hopefully answer a lot of your questions as we go through this today. So feel free, as we're going through the call, to use the chat function. Any questions that you have, our goal today is to make sure that we can get those answered for you. So feel free to post in there. But one thing that I would love to do before we get started is really just recognize you guys. I think, you guys hold a position as a property manager that is so tough, and 99% of your time could easily be taken doing something else today, and you chose to spend the next hour with us. And I just want to say that I appreciate you. I know the people on the call appreciate you and respect you for it. And I think it says a lot about you. So our goal is to deliver on that here for you. And I also want to recognize, for those of you that are on the call, you're probably in one of a couple different areas in terms of the benefits package. I know for some of you, this could be maybe the first time that you've heard anything about an RBP or resident benefits package. And we're really just trying to figure out, hey, what is it? And if that's you, perfect. Like Laura said, you are in the right spot. Others of you, maybe you've heard a little bit about the package in the past, and it's something that you've been interested in, and maybe you're getting closer to making that step and implementing one for your business. And then I think we've probably got a few people on the call that maybe already have a benefits package rolled out, and they're just here maybe to hear a little bit from our panelists in terms of what they've done and if they've done anything differently to see such success that they've had. So that's the goal of today. We're going to take a deep dive into the resident benefits package, but shifting into the next piece, right before we bring our panel up, I kind of want to walk through just a quick overview of the benefits package. A lot of the times when we have our initial conversations with people for the benefits package, a lot of the questions are like, what's in it? Why would we want to do it? And so I want to answer those for you briefly. I think the biggest question in terms of why, there's generally 3 reasons why somebody would want to do the benefits package. I think one of them is really just trying to offer a higher level of service to the residents in a way that attracts a higher quality applicant, but then also potentially keeps them around longer, increasing that resident retention, because when it comes time for renewal, they look around and say, well, man, a lot of property managers out there don't offer this. So we'll stick around for a little bit longer. Another one of them could be really trying to increase their business development and bring on new owners and new clients by letting them know, hey, we're offering this resident benefits package that has a lot of services in it that are designed to motivate a resident to do the behaviors that we want to see them doing, right? Driving a lot of that lease mandated behavior. And then the final one, which I think is big for most people on the call, would be trying to increase that profit per unit. And there's a lot of things that we can talk about there that go into what that profit could look like. And we'll talk more about that in a second. But I will tell you, we have a lot of partners that are averaging anywhere from $150 to sometimes $175 in profit per unit that they're increasing year over year with the resident benefits package. So in terms of what's in it, you see it there on the screen. We'll hit on these quickly and then bring the panel up. But renter's insurance, I know is a big one for a lot of people out there. In terms of renter's insurance, we do have a policy which is $100,000 in liability coverage. There's $10,000 in contents coverage, and we see right at 100% compliance. We also take care of the monitoring piece. So if somebody has a third-party policy, the Second Nature team ensures that that stays active and that there's no gaps in coverage. Filter delivery service. So filters being shipped directly to the resident's doorstep on a specific schedule. Most of our partners see about a 40% reduction in their HVAC related maintenance tickets once we start shipping filters to residents. We've got identity theft protection, which is there to protect the resident in the instance that their identity were to be stolen and bank account get drained. Obviously, they still need a way to pay their rent and pay their bills, and the identity theft is there to protect them for that. The rewards program and credit building are both there to incentivize the on-time rent payments. Credit building has become one of the more popular pieces of the package, and a lot of our residents are seeing anywhere from 20 to almost a 40-point boost in their credit score over the course of a lease term, providing them massive benefits. And then, of course, the move-in concierge, which turns the process of switching the utilities over to the resident's name from the 5 typical individual phone calls into one. And it's just a big time saver and stress reducer there on the front end for residents. So that's the 30,000-foot view of the benefits package. I know that we might have some additional questions on that. If you do have them, please put them in the chat. Our team will be coming to you to answer those as we see them come up. But without further ado, Megan, I'm going to come to you because I see you on my right.
My name is Megan Zellers. I am the Associate Broker Director of Operations for RMS Team at RE Center. We are out of the Atlanta market. I have been in property management for almost 15 years now, and I'm still here. Woo! And how many doors? We are recently 276 was our latest count.
Nice. Awesome. Thanks, Megan.
Yeah.
Leah, I'm coming to you now.
Hi, I'm Leah Schuch, broker owner of Innovative Property Solutions out of Jacksonville, North Carolina, home of the largest Marine Corps base on the East Coast. We have, as of yesterday, I looked, we have 185 doors under our property management division and over 800 HOA doors that we manage. And I've been a real estate broker here for over 11 years, but I started my management firm about 4.5 years ago.
Love it. Thanks, Leah. Jeremy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeremy Tallman. I'm with T&H Realty Services. We're out of Indianapolis, Indiana, one of the founding members of T&H. We manage between 11 and 1,200 doors right now. Been doing third-party property management since 2007, so been around a little bit. So yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for the invite, Tyler.
Awesome. Absolutely. Cannot thank you guys enough. I think, as we were trying to build this panel together, you were 3 of the names that came up because number one, I've known you for a period of time and I think we have a great relationship. But I think more importantly, I think you guys have had all unique experiences with the benefits package. And so I'm excited to kind of go through some of these questions today and just let the people here know a little bit about your experience. So I kind of want to go in chronological order. I feel like that makes sense in terms of looking at the process of identifying a benefits package and all the feelings and things that come through that. So the first question that I have, Jeremy, I want to come to you here first. What was kind of your initial motivation when you started to look at the benefits package?
Well, as I mentioned, we've been doing this a bit, and our lease, as you can imagine, has evolved from, I think, 3 or 4 pages to now like 25. And so we've always brought in additional things as we felt we had exposure or things to help our clients. We always want to see things through the lens of our clients. So several years ago, we said, we have to start requiring renters insurance because it doesn't make sense for our owner to pay for something that our tenant was negligent about or our tenant paused. So we started requiring that years ago. And as you can imagine, it's difficult to administrate as you scale because we're the ones doing it. We're just getting a policy. We're trying to get named as additional interested party, whatever it is. And that's difficult. We made good efforts. We were never 100%. You mentioned you had about 100% compliance with renters insurance. I'm sure we weren't near that. And then several years ago, we wanted to start requiring filter changes from our residents. And again, it's a tough thing almost impossible to manage that. So when we learned about a master insurance policy a few years ago, we signed up for that through, I think it was Arcana at the time. And then you guys came along, Filter Easy, and we did the filter program. So we had kind of what we called a tenant benefits package. But so when I think Tyler, you and I spoke with broker owner about a year ago, and you said, "Hey, this is coming," and we were quick to sign up because the idea of us not having to, administrate a lot of those things. This is wonderful. It just gives us a lot of good benefits and things that we don't have to put a lot of people hours on to administrate it all. So it's owners seem to love it. Residents, for the most part, love it. And our staff loves it because it makes our job easier.
Love that. It's interesting to hear the progression, right, of the desire to we're trying to solve for this, we're trying to solve for that, and then seeing all that come together with the ease of the implementation. That's awesome. Megan or Leah, anything to add on that question?
Well, I'll piggyback on that. So in my former lifetime, I was a teacher, and we always learned that if you want certain behaviors, right, you want your students to do certain things, you have to kind of nudge them to that behavior. And that's what that resident benefits package does with the filter delivery service, the renter's insurance. We're nudging our residents to do the things that they should be doing or we want them to be doing. And it's right there. Easy click of a button.
A little bit of a carrot instead of the stick, right?
There you go.
I'll add on. I have an investor client who he knows the value of having HVAC filters changed out regularly, and if they're not done, what that can do to his margins and numbers over the lifespan of the units. And in addition, renter's insurance not always compliant, and you find a lot of tenants are not. And we had done a different program, made a claim, and it didn't end up going through. And so I kind of reevaluated what we were doing. And that was what led us to Second Nature, because the same investor client that had both situations happened, and here bothered me that kind of he wasn't being covered, and how could we reevaluate to protect our investors and our owners, but not at their cost, and when it's the tenant's negligence. And so we've been really happy with Second Nature and adjusting our policies company-wise.
Love it. Well, let's do this. I kind of want to shift gears because it's great to talk about the things that are exciting, that make you want to dig into it. But I think anytime, especially with new programs, there's excitement, and then immediately after excitement, there are hesitations and things that might hold you back. So Leah, I know we just heard from you. I want to come back to you here on this one in terms of what were your hesitations before you took action?
So I think we all know, and you get the excitement of a new program or a new rollout of something, but then immediately there's oh my gosh, this is going to be a heavy lift, and there's the stress and the frustration and time commitment that comes along with the implementation of something new in a company, and which had caused me to push off Second Nature for a really long time and rolling out a residence benefits package because I felt like I'd had enough on my plate for a long time. But after a different situation, it's okay, we're going to do this, and committed to it, got the team amped up and committed. And then it was really anticlimactic. because you do it really one at a time as they come up for renewal or as you lease each property, which then was very slow. And whereas, pretty much every other implementation, you're doing your whole entire portfolio or everything you manage all at one time. And so this is so much easier than it kind of just mentally felt like it was going to be. And so that's my encouragement, is don't let the implementation hold you back of the implementation from experience from something else, because this is definitely not like many others. And they make it so incredibly easy for you to roll it out with your company and to your residents that, I mean, all you have to really do is copy and paste and into where you need to. And it's really that easy.
Anticlimactic. Not what I want in a movie or a book, but I guess with it rolling out a new program, maybe that's exactly what we're shooting for.
It's just really smooth and very simple.
Megan, I feel like you probably had some pretty good hesitations, if I remember correctly.
So, well, first of all, I'm kind of in a unique position because while I am a major decision maker for my company, I don't hold the purse strings. So I have to go and get permission from, the higher ups to be able to implement anything in my business. And so sometimes that's a challenge. At first, the hesitation, like Leah, I was like, I cannot fathom bringing something else on. And then it was one of those where, as I mentioned before, I want to curb the behavior. I need this. I need the residents to be doing this. And so, I was talking to Tyler the other day about this, reminding him, do you remember that time I was driving up the highway and I'm like, hey, I have to talk my boss into saying yes to this program. So can you give me some talking points? And Tyler was very helpful with that. But yes, smooth and easy. Those are perfect words to describe the implementation process and that whole, and just the value, being able to show the value of this product to my broker was huge.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Jeremy, I'm curious to get your take, especially being at 1,100 units. I think big ships are sometimes a little bit trickier and harder to move. So what would your answer be there?
I don't think there was any hesitation, Tyler. I mean, we literally just, because we were had something cobbled together in what we called our TBP, our tenant benefits package. You guys made us more sensitive, and we actually converted everything from tenant to resident because the RBP, as a side note there. But for us, it was you solved a problem. When you added insurance in, you changed the game. And so that just made it so much easier for us. Instead of saying, all right, we're going to do this with this company, this with this company, we have our other benefits over here. It kind of scooped it all into one. So it was just so much, we were all relieved, I guess, that we could just have one company that we dealt with. So there was no real hesitation. There was just excitement going into it for us because it did make things easier.
Good. That's great.
Well, sorry to interrupt, Tyler. Another thing to add is also the thinking of, oh God, what are the tenants going to say? They're going to have to pay for something else. Oh gosh, do I have the time to listen to all of the tenants complain and whine about having to spend, whatever per month? And I don't know about Leah or Jeremy, but we did not. I can count on one hand the number of, complaints that we may have gotten, and 100% of them turned out to be fine.
That's awesome. Let's talk about that a little bit more, because I think while the hesitation is always real and some of it might be a little made up, you are going to have at least a person or two that will have questions or maybe give a little pushback. What is you all's approach to that sort of a conversation?
I can jump in. I mean, I think on new lease ups, there's very little friction. So, we do, and I think everyone should, we're very transparent in that. Here's your rent. And in our description, we put, you're going to be paying for a resident benefits package equal to X. So people know that going in. They see the BIMs like, oh, I don't have to buy renter's insurance. I don't have to worry about a filter. I get this utility concierge. And you mentioned the credit boost. I guess that's that's one of the favorite things that we have that people really, really like from it. It's during the renewals, I think, is where we get the most friction, because Most of our tenants now are on some sort of benefits package. This one's a more expanded one, so we do charge more for it. So when you're in an inflationary market, when rents are going up, especially the last couple of years, it can be a little tough. People can bite back a little bit, but our team's well trained. They know how to, kind of shoot down some of that opposition, and we've been able to do just fine. It's not much of a problem for us at all. But you just have to show the value. That's what it is. It comes down to just showing the value and what all they get. And most people are like, okay, I get it.
Nice. Love it. Leah, anything to add there?
Yeah, I was definitely concerned with our market and the complaints that we were going to hear and the pushback and the struggle, because resident benefits package, we were the first to do it in our market. There might be one other, but they did a very minimal. And so I was definitely nervous about that. And you never want to be the one to cause your owners to lose a tenant either over a company policy change. And, every once in a while we get the tentative, is this negotiable? Nope, it's company policy. Okay, just thought I'd ask. And they proceed with leasing. And so I think it's definitely been surprising at how easy it has been in some of those times. You always get the one or two, but I don't know of anybody that has turned away. And in addition, I don't know if you want me to share about the owner we had at this moment, but we had an owner recently that his property wasn't renting, and they asked us if we would remove that. And I thought, you know what, this is still relatively new. I'll take it out of the marketing and see if it changes. And the property still didn't rent. And they thought that was the whole reason it wasn't renting. And the people that rented their property rented it with the residence benefits package. And so it didn't end up being something that caused them to not rent the property.
That's awesome. It's always positive to hear like that it's not something that is always looked at as a fee of like, I don't want this. In a lot of cases, it could be, hey, there's value in here that this is why I'm choosing the property. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit, just based on feedback from residents. What do you guys feel like has been like their favorite piece of the package? Is it the credit? Is it the filters? Like based on what you're hearing, what do you think?
So when we first started the resident benefits package, it was at a lower amount and it had filters, insurance, and a couple of other things. And then, it was a fairly low amount that we were charging for the monthly fee. Well, then we signed on with Second Nature, and we were able to like really build this even better resident benefits package with that credit reporting. And I will tell you, when we rolled the new program out, we gave the tenants the option to, they had to switch over at renewal time, but we gave them the option if they wanted to start early for that credit reporting, or whatever reason, the rewards program through Pinata, they could do that. And we had a ton of tenants reach out and say, sign me up early, we want that credit reporting. So that is huge.
That's awesome.
I mentioned it earlier. I think the credit building was, and I wouldn't think that, but that's something that it's more of a value add. I think that people, renter's insurance is renter's insurance, not real siding.
Right.
It's just, it's there. Filters are great because I guess it saves them time and it's convenient, but the credit boost is just something that they, I've heard is a pretty expensive thing to get. Credit reporting is an expensive service to sign up for. So to get that added in, the feedback I get, people love it. Because you're right, Tyler, it helps them secure better interest rates, particularly in this market. It can lead to a quicker path to home ownership. There's just a lot of benefits in that credit boost that residents seem to really, benefit from.
Love it. Awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about the actual onboarding and implementation. So I know you guys have shared a few things about it being anticlimactic and really easy, which is great. Let's talk more so about like the day-to-day process in terms of, hey, we've got a new resident, they're moving in, we're signing them up for the package. How has that process been for you guys? How do you handle that? Megan, I'll come to you first.
Okay. So, I mean, it is literally the click of a button for us. But as far as like implementing the whole package, the guys at Second Nature, they were in our software helping set up, the fields that needed to be toggled on whenever we sign on a new resident. Throughout the whole process, we'd have these calls, these scheduled calls to make sure that we're on track, for our date that we wanted to launch. Those were very helpful because, of course, I'd get a calendar reminder. I got a call in 15 minutes. I don't have time for a call in 15 minutes. Let's sit and do the call. Right. So, but it just keeps you on track. So, but I mean, now it's to the point where we get a new tenant and we're plugging their information in our software and toggle a button, and then Second Nature takes it from there. It's beautiful.
Leah, what do you think?
I don't think I really have to say anymore. She summed it up as easy as it could be.
That's mic drop, call over.
I will add one thing there, Tyler, because I'm guessing there are people on this call that have recently been canceled by Arcana, because Arcana is getting out of the master insurance policy, right? And we got notice 5-6 weeks ago, because we still have some people on Arcana's legacy programs. And Stephanie from your group is amazing. Like, we've had a couple of calls with her. She actually ran our reports in our system that says we show this as the people that you need to convert over. And all we have to do is say, yep. And everyone is converted into the resident benefits package. There's 300 and something, I think, on that list. So you guys do a lot of the lifting for us, like I mentioned before. And the implementation has been, I guess, unremarkable, that we just don't have to do much.
Something to add really quick. So we just acquired a large portfolio of properties, and I'm shouting out to Corey Arnwine. Whoop, whoop. I saw Corey at our meeting last week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're signing on all these properties. Like, a handful have the resident benefits package, a handful just have insurance, a handful just have filters. I don't even know how to. And he's like, no problem. There's buttons for all of that. We got you. And sure enough, it's been a week and they've got us. So thank you. And thank you, Corey, for calming me down.
Shout out to Corey. I love it. Awesome. Well, I've got a couple more questions with the last little bit of our time. One thing that I would be curious about, you guys have hit on it a little bit, in terms of owner or client feedback or pushback. It sounds like it's pretty positive. I am curious, are you guys seeing it be successful in any sort of business development efforts when you're having conversations with potential clients and mentioning the RBP? Is that something that you guys are doing?
I can start with that one. I even just on Tuesday was having a phone call with a prospective owner who has a buddy that he works with that wants to rent his house when he moves with his orders. And he admitted that the guy is kind of cheap, and said he feels like he's being nickel and dimed. The prospective tenant made the comment, and he said, I just know he's someone who's really cheap, and he's already still kind of beating me up about the rent price that I'm asking. And I explained the package all over to him again and said, it's not negotiable. And he said, no, he said, I'm fine with it. He said, it tells me that you guys are just really thorough and you're really doing everything you can to look out for the owners. And he said, I'm fine with it. Charge him. And he said he can go elsewhere if he doesn't want to pay for it. But as every prospective owner that I mention it to, and I explain that we require this, and we're, one of the few companies in town that really enforce renters insurance, because it is a very difficult thing in the industry to enforce if don't have things in place to do so. And every owner loves the package, and because they're always worried about their HVAC too, if the filters aren't changed. And so when you explain all of the things that are set up to help protect them as an owner, they love it. And so they're excited that there is a company that offers these items and that they don't have to pay for it either, that it's really protecting them. So
that's awesome. That's great feedback. Jeremy or Megan, are you guys seeing this at all?
Yeah, I can speak a little bit. we have similar experiences where owners like the fact, and we do sell it, our BDM does discuss it, that, hey, our program requires that tenants change filters, they get delivered to their door. You're going to have, 100% compliance on renter's insurance. And most owners, from an asset protection standpoint, those are the most valuable things to them. But I'll also say, like, a lot of our clients, and I think if we really peel back, the persona of a landlord is, I just want my asset protected. I want the most rent, but a lot of owners and investors treat their tenants as customers. They want them to have a good experience. And when they see those peripheral benefits, it's like, well, that's nice. You guys do that for your residents. It's something you offer for your residents. But they pay for it. We get it. But it's nice that we include that to where we can, maybe create some stickiness with those tenants. And ultimately, that's going to serve our owners the best. So,
great point. Well, hey, let's do this. I've got one more quick question. So, and you guys have done such an amazing job. At this point, I do want to ask, if you're just on the call and you've gotten some piece of wisdom, some nugget from these guys, if you could share that in the chat, that would be awesome. Just so they can see that you guys have appreciated it. But we'll probably have time for one or two of you to go here. Understanding that most people on this call, the benefits package is something that they're thinking about, they're curious about. What is, in like a sentence or two, one piece of wisdom that you could give, or one word of advice?
Go for it.
Yeah, just do it. Just steal from Nike.
yeah, I would just say, just be very transparent. Like, just be very clear, transparent, and it should be fairly seamless.
What awesome. I said the other day, trust Tyler. TT. Tyler. No, you guys have it set out. I mean, you guys have been doing this, obviously. So if the people that are working with you listen to you and follow your steps, it does make it very, very easy and transparent and happy for everyone.
That's amazing. Well, listen, I want to thank you guys so much for spending some time here and sharing your experience with everybody on the call. There were a lot of things that you shared that I wasn't even aware of. So cannot thank you enough for spending some time here. And hopefully we'll get to see you guys sooner rather than later. But one thing I do want to say for everybody else on the call, hopefully you were able to get a lot of questions answered as we went through this. But honestly, chances are, as we went through everything, it probably created a few more questions for you. And so this is probably some specific stuff. Like, I think I saw something in the chat about pricing and what does the profit actually look like? How often are the filters shipped? Do we have to do the filters? Probably a lot of more specific questions for that. We want to give you an opportunity to get all of those questions answered and really turn, what could be potentially 40 hours of research into really 40 minutes of just an information gathering session with your local second nature expert. And again, it's really just to get all the specifics answered for you and learn some best practices that we've seen that might be a little bit more specific to your market. So if you click the link in the chat, it will take you to a page that Laura Mack just had pulled up. Some quick information there that you can fill out to get a call scheduled. And, I will tell you this, just by the way, if you want to try to create the benefits package on your own, at the very least, this call will definitely save you some time in that information gathering session. So sincerely, no strings attached. There is no commitment or obligation or anything like that to sign up for the benefits package. Because at the end of the day, Second Nature is really just here to support you in whatever way that we can. And we're happy to share our best practices. So again, if you see the link, that's amazing. You can go there and get a call scheduled. We would love to get those questions answered for you. And hopefully you guys have an amazing rest of your Thursday, amazing rest of the week. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.
That's all for today's Triple Win Property Management Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for sharing a piece of your life with us. We do not take it for granted. I also want to give a shout out to Carol Housel for everything she and our team does to make these possible. It's crazy to think about over 5,000 professional property managers have pressed play on episodes in season 1 and season 2 now. And we really want to encourage you to keep giving feedback because more and more people are listening. It's getting better and better and better thanks to everything that you're sharing with us. If you like this enough to listen, I want to encourage you to share it with other people. You can give us feedback directly on those social media channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're hanging out. You can also send us an email at triplewin@secondnature.com. And we just want to give more. There's no sales pitch here. Just want to offer more resources that help you find and stack your next triple win and become a triple win driven property manager. So where can you find that? You can find the private Facebook group. You can find our blog. You can find our newsletter. You can find more resources all at rbp.secondnature.com. Just search for what you're looking for there. And every time we see you, we want to see a better version of you and your business. To that end, keep it going, feel inspired, take our encouragement, and we'll see you next time.